Hey guys, it's Kylie Ewing, and as you can see, I will be talking about my pet peeves and other things I hate because there are so many. But before that, my bestie Jade, she wanted me to give her a shout out. So, I'm just gonna say that her name is Jade and that she's my bestie. And, I became friends with her in sixth grade. That's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to give out any of her personal information. So, yeah, just shout out to Jade. Okay, so I think one of my biggest pet peeves would be when I'm talking to someone and they ignore me. Like, I say something to someone, they hear me, and then they act like I'm not talking to them, and then they just look away or not respond. Like, if I'm asking a question, like, what's the point of even doing that? And another pet peeve that, like, my two main pet peeves are that and joking. Now, inside jokes are okay, but it's not okay to involve other people inside jokes. So, um, I have one inside joke with this girl, like, where we say, hey, Rose, and rose is a type of wine. Um, yeah, that's the only inside joke I have. Like, people have tried to involve me into their inside jokes. And plus, whenever someone jokes with me, I think they're being serious. And, even when they joke with other people, I think they're being serious. So I'm always serious. But sometimes people, they think that I'm joking. And actually, my friend, she's now not Jade, but just another friend of mine. She threatened to blackmail me with screenshots of our old conversation on text messages of me saying horrible things to her. And then she said that it was a joke. But I could have reported her to the police or the FBI because how was I supposed to know she was joking, especially when she sounded so serious? So yeah, if you know me, don't joke with me. Something I hate is reading books. Um, Now, I would read a book if it's really interesting, but I wouldn't read a book at home. I would only read it at school if I had nothing to do. Because normally, if I had nothing to do at school, then I would just text on my computer or do other stuff on it. But sometimes I do read at school, but I wouldn't just pick up a random book and read it. It would have to be something that's interesting. But I don't own any books. So, yeah, I only read them from the school library. So I wouldn't go to my local library and check out a book. And I certainly wouldn't buy just a book. No, unless it was made by someone I know or a celebrity who I really like. But other than that, I don't like reading books for no reason. Hmm. Okay. What Let me think. Oh, I hate it when teachers, like, you're talking to someone and then the teacher walks up to you and gets involved in your conversation and they might say stuff like, let's not talk about people who aren't here, or like, that has nothing to do with what we're doing. Like, we're not talking to the whole class, we're just talking to each other, and we're not talking loudly. Like, we're allowed to have our own side conversations. Now, like, if the teacher is talking, I understand, but like, if we're just off on our own, we should be able to talk about whatever we want. So yeah, teachers has definitely done that to me. And something else that teachers do that I don't understand is, so like, one of my friends, I used to call him a hoodlum, so he called me it. And so we have English together, and my like English teacher, she knew about it, but then she told the head of school and my advisor. I know because like my advisor talked to me about it, and she like said that the head of school knew. But I was like, okay, how do you know, and how does the head of school know? Oh, well, obviously the English teacher told them. And so I like told my advisor that it's just like a friend thing that we do, and that like it's not offensive to us, and that we only do it to each other. But then later she told me to stop calling him that, and she said that he's not allowed to call me either, so I was like, okay. So the situation was dealt with, but like it wasn't a situation because it was just something that we would do. And I message him, and like sometimes, oh, well, really not anymore, but I would like want to call him a hoodlum so bad, but I couldn't. So one time I messaged him saying, I miss being able to call you the H word. I mean hoodlum, not hell. Mm. Oh, and also, teachers can be very nosy. Like, when you're on your computer. So one time I was with my friend, and I was like texting on my computer, and then a teacher walked up to us and said, we're not texting during school. So I said, okay, we're sorry. But like, you shouldn't be allowed to just look at someone's computer. That's an invasion of privacy. And for another student to do that, I understand, because like, we're in 8th grade. And like, I definitely know a lot of people who would do that. But for a teacher to do that, like, you should know better. Now, teachers these days, they like can definitely do some pretty weird things. So, here's a story. Okay, so I was walking to science, and then I saw my friend who was about to go to Spanish. So I said, like, can I go to Spanish with you because I don't like science? Now, I didn't like science at the time. So she said that I could come for 2 seconds. And then her friend said, even if you come for 2 minutes, the teacher will get mad at you and think that something happened to you. So I said, what could possibly happen to me? And then she said that that's what the teacher said to a girl they both know. So she was 2 minutes late for class, and the teacher said that something happened to her. Like, we're at school. What could possibly happen to us? Mm. And feel like teachers, they just try to help the students, but they don't need to be involved in everything. So, like, we're in middle school, so we can definitely solve some things ourselves. And most of the, like, issues that I've gotten into in middle school, they're not even big deals. Like, um, if I was a businesswoman and I called one of my colleagues the R word, I wouldn't get in trouble. And, like, if my boss heard, like, they wouldn't care, so why should a teacher care if I say it at school? Also, like, one of my friends, I've called her the R word. Now I'm not gonna say it because, like, I don't know if I can say it on YouTube, but you know the R word. RETARD. So, one of my friends, I've called her that over 100 times. So, she's used to it now. So, I feel like if there's this person I just started calling them that on a daily basis, they would get used to it and stop caring because, like, she doesn't care about me calling her that anymore. But, like, the R word, there are worse things I can say. Like, so, like, she's Indian. If I was calling her racial slurs, that would be different. But calling her an intellectual slur for an intellectual thing, mental retardation, she doesn't have that. So it shouldn't affect her. And if someone did have mental retardation and I knew it, then obviously I wouldn't call them that. But if it's just someone who doesn't, then there's no reason for me not to be able to call them that because mental retardation, it's like where you have a learning disability and like have trouble with your intellect. Um, and Jade, I asked her what she would do if I called her the R word, and she said, "You called me dumb, and dumb and retarded are the same thing, so I wouldn't care." And I actually did call her the R word, and she posted about it on her Snapchat story, saying it was me, and said help. Like anyone's gonna help her. You know, I actually love it when people say, help, what? Even when, like, there's no one to help them. I know that sounds like an evil thing to say, but when they say that in response to things I say, it just kind of makes me feel evil in a good way. That, like, obviously they're, like, freaking out and they're like, help, but, like, literally no one can help them. Um, oh, and I hate it when, like, something happens. So, like, say something happens between me and just one person. Then they'll tell their friends. And I know because, like, their friends will talk to me about it. And I'll be like, how do you know? And then they'll say that their friends told them. Like, you don't need to make everything public. Common sense is not very common these days. If something happens between you and one person, it stays between you and that person. You do not need to get other people involved, especially if they can't do anything to help. Because they can't, because it's not their problem. So, what are your pet peeves or things you hate? Comment it down below or make a video about it and tag me in it. Bye!